And my source tonight is the former chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Congressman Adam Schiff of California, who is currently running for a Senate seat in that state. Congressman, it's great to have you because this is not the first time that other countries have tried to interfere with U.S. elections. Obviously, we are all well aware of Russia's actions in 2016. But first, just on this reporting, what do you make of this and Iran's alleged involvement?
Well, I think Iran has sort of followed the example set by Russia in using spear phishing attacks, which are unsophisticated but often very successful to gain access to private information that's held by presidential campaigns. They're also pushing out, phony news sources, news sites. They're trying to exploit issues that divide Americans. These are the same objectives we saw with Russia in 2016. That is, interfere with one of the campaigns, but also just sow greater division, cause greater concern and discomfort with the conduct of elections, question about the conduct of elections in the United States, anything to essentially denigrate our democracy.
Well, and this time it's both campaigns allegedly being targeted here. I mean, what are the next steps for the FBI? What do you want to see from them?
Well, I want to see the FBI and the intelligence community do a vigorous investigation as to who are behind these hacks, who's behind this influence operation, and provide as much of that information to the public without compromising sources and methods, and do it in a timely way. The big mistake I think that was made in 2016 is it took a long time for the then Obama administration and intelligence community to speak out about what we were seeing of Russian interference in the election. I think the community needs to level with the American people, whichever way those types of interference cut politically. Just speak the facts plainly, put them out there for the public, let the public draw their own conclusions. And in terms of the media role, as I argued in 2016, I'm not saying that hacked materials are never newsworthy, but whenever they're discussed, it's important to set out, what's the provenance of these materials? Where did they come from? Why are we seeing them? What motivation might a foreign government have for making this information available by stealing it? So that's really important context that was often missing in 2016.
Yeah, obviously the context here, how outlets are getting this and what that looks like. Part of the irony in this is that Roger Stone is apparently who famously in 2016, 2015 said it was soon going to be John Podesta's time in the barrel. Obviously, it was Podesta's private email that was compromised in 2016 via the very phishing emails that you're talking about here. Now he's allegedly involved in this. Trump ended up pardoning Roger Stone after he was convicted of lying about his attempts to get Hillary Clinton's private emails from WikiLeaks. I just wonder, when you look at the details of this, what you make of that in particular.
Well, there's certainly an irony here, and there's also hypocrisy involved when you hear the Trump campaign. Basically telling the media, "Don't publish any of this. That would be wrong." When, of course, Donald Trump was inviting hackers to publish through outlets like WikiLeaks and Guccifer 2, and celebrating at every campaign stop these stolen documents. So no small measure of hypocrisy here by the Trump campaign. But look, both campaigns, both parties need to condemn any foreign interference, no matter how it cuts. This has no place in our politics. Americans get to decide American elections. So we need to be united on this in a way that we weren't in 2016. And a big part of the problem in 2016 is you had one of the presidential candidates in Donald Trump welcoming foreign interference, asking for it, accepting it, exploiting it, lying about it. We can't make that mistake again.
Yeah, I mean, everyone remembers when Trump said Russia, if you're listening. Given what you just said, though, we saw the White House come out and condemn this today. Obviously, the Trump campaign has urged people not to use and share this material. Do you want to see the Harris campaign also come out and condemn this?
Well, the administration of which the vice president is very much a part has condemned it. And I haven't seen what statements have come out of the campaign side of things. But look, I think all of us ought to condemn any kind of foreign interference. It's not just Iran. We're seeing the Russians back at it again. We're seeing China with its own influence operations. It should be, the very basic minimum in the American political process that both parties, from top to bottom, decry these foreign efforts. We don't want foreign adversarial powers to become some kind of a super PAC that is running independent expenditure campaigns on behalf or against one candidate or the other through troll farms or fake news sites or spear phishing attack, hacking and dumping operations. None of that should be condoned or exploited by any of the campaigns.
Yeah. Well, and, this stood out to me as we've been hearing from the Trump campaign on this after Microsoft, of course, came out with it with their own report on this on Friday. The Washington Post says the Trump campaign didn't tell the FBI, at least initially, because of mistrust that they have. Obviously, we know very well Donald Trump himself in the FBI. And I just wonder, given you were a prominent voice in 2016 talking about collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia, when you look at this big picture and that concern that you just said everyone should have about attempts by foreign governments or by foreign entities to influence our elections, are you worried that there's people out there who don't take what the FBI says seriously, or don't take, them conducting an investigation into this seriously, to the point where the Trump campaign was hesitant to even go to the FBI at first?
First of all, I wouldn't credit the Trump campaign's explanation for why they haven't notified or didn't notify the FBI. The FBI, I think, is one of the most incredible investigative agencies in the United States. They do incredible work. The Trump campaign may have been embarrassed that their cyber defenses weren't sufficient to stop it. Sometimes the victims of cyber attacks don't want to admit that they've been hacked. They don't want to admit it to their customers. They don't want to admit it to the public. And for a presidential campaign, there are lots of reasons why they may not want to, bring in law enforcement. But I think we do need to be transparent about this. The country has a right to know if foreign powers are trying to interfere. And the FBI, law enforcement, and the intelligence community need to be aware of, different hacking groups and what they're doing. And if a campaign sees this, spots this, it might help prevent others from being the victim of similar attacks.
How worried are you about what the next, 90 days are going to look like when it comes to what we're talking about right now?
Well, I am concerned about it because on the one hand, we are certainly better forewarned than we were in 2016. We're better prepared. And yet at the same time, there has been such a politicization by Trump and sort of his MAGA enablers, such a politicization of the FBI and the intelligence community that they will seek to discredit anything that goes on that they think is unhelpful to them. And, if past his prologue, Trump will seek to exploit any foreign interference if it's beneficial to him. So in that respect, we are not better prepared. I am concerned about it. But what concerns me the most, frankly, has nothing to do with foreign powers. It has to do with domestic actors who are trying to seed local elections, boards, and other officials with such rabid partisans that they will declare the loser the winner if their side doesn't win.
Congressman Adam Schiff, thank you for your time tonight.